Hello everyone, welcome back to the Change Dude podcast. I'm your host, Saeed Rafay, and today we are going to talk about Europe's tech ecosystem, its growth challenges, and the cultural political dynamics. When we think of tech giants, we instinctively picture Silicon Valley. Companies like Google, Apple, Meta, and Amazon dominate global markets, consumer behavior, and even political discourse. In China, the likes of Tencent, Alibaba, and Huawei push a powerful government-aligned narrative of tech supremacy. But Europe, despite its historic legacy in science, innovation, and design, is conspicuously absent from the leaderboard of global tech titans. The question is why? Is it because Europe isn't innovative? Is it too bureaucratic or fragmented? Or is there something deeper, a philosophical, political, and cultural decision to deliberately chart a different path? In this episode of the Change Dude podcast, we dive deep into Europe's tech ecosystem, explore why it resists the creation of mega corporations, how its regulatory framework shape the digital world, and why this might not be a weakness but a principled strength in an age of rampant digital monopolies and eroding democratic control. To understand Europe's relationship with tech ecosystem, we have to begin with its relationship with power. Europe has been shaped by centuries of conflict, revolutions, and philosophical debates over sovereignty, freedom, and public interest. From the Enlightenment to the horrors of World War II, European societies have cultivated a deep wariness of unchecked power, whether it stems from monarchies, religious institutions, or more recently corporations. This cultural foundation underpins the EU's approach to technology, where American tech culture often celebrates disruption and scale. Europe prioritizes ethics, fairness, and democratic oversight. The concept of digital sovereignty is not just about independence from foreign tech, it's about ensuring that technology serves citizens, not the other way around. In this sense, the European tech ecosystem is driven less by move fast and break things and more by move carefully and protect rights. Europe is often criticized, especially by American pundits and entrepreneurs, for being over-regulated and hostile to innovation. But this criticism often misunderstands the intent and context of European laws. Take the General Data Protection Regulation, or GDPR. It is without question the most comprehensive data privacy law in the world. It has reshaped global tech practices, even beyond Europe. GDPR puts individuals at the center of data control, holding corporations accountable for misuse and mandating transparency. Or consider the Digital Markets Act, DMA, and the Digital Services Act, DSA. These aren't just bureaucratic red tape. They are efforts to preserve competition, fairness, and transparency in digital marketplaces. In a world where algorithms dictate visibility and profits are concentrated in monopolistic platforms, Europe is saying enough. Instead of viewing regulation as a shackle, Europe sees it as a shield, a way to ensure that technological progress doesn't come at the cost of public interest, worker rights, or democratic accountability. Europe has produced brilliant minds, groundbreaking research, and successful startups. Spotify, SAP, ASML, and DeepMind before being acquired by Google. These are just few examples. But none have reached the scale and influence of US or Chinese tech giants. Part of the reason lies in the European market structure. Unlike the US, which is a single massive market with a unified language, Europe is a mosaic of countries, languages, tax systems, and legal frameworks. Scaling across Europe is harder. There is also less venture capital, fewer risk-taking investors, and more conservative business cultures. But again, this isn't just an economic gap, it's a philosophical one. Europe deliberately doesn't incentivize the winner-takes-all model. Antitrust is taken seriously. Monopolies are broken up or restricted. Governments remain cautious about any entity, corporate or otherwise, that amasses too much power. In many parts of Europe, technology is seen as infrastructure, not a commodity. This means prioritizing open source solutions, public digital infrastructure, and collaborative innovation. Estonia's e-governance system is a powerful example. Nearly every citizen service is digitized, and it runs on transparent, secure systems. France has pushed for European alternatives to Google Maps and Microsoft Office. Germany invests heavily in public AI research. This approach doesn't generate unicorn valuations, but it builds resilient, inclusive, and citizen-focused systems. It reflects a belief that certain technologies like health platforms, identity systems, and cloud infrastructure are too important to be left solely in corporate hands. One of Europe's boldest moves has been its willingness to challenge big tech head-on. The European Commission has fined Google billions for anti-competitive practices. It has forced Apple to change its charger standard for environmental reasons. Meta has faced numerous legal hurdles over data handling, and the scrutiny continues to grow. To some, this looks like hostility toward innovation. To others, it's a necessary recalibration of the balance between corporate power and democratic governance. Europe understands that when corporations grow too powerful, they start influencing policy, controlling narratives, and operating beyond the reach of national laws. In resisting this, Europe isn't anti-tech, it's pro-democracy. Recently, there has been a spike in articles and commentary portraying Europe as a tech backwater held by regulations and cultural conservatism. This narrative, however, is often pushed by US think tanks, VC circles, and media aligned with big tech interests. The truth is more nuanced. Yes, Europe faces challenges from fragmented markets to brain drain, but framing regulation as inherently bad and big tech dominance as inevitable is a self-serving perspective. Europe's caution is grounded in historical experience and democratic values. Much of the criticism fails to address a simple question: what kind of tech future do you want? One where a handful of private companies govern digital life, or one where public interest, rights, and transparency comes first? Europe's model isn't perfect, but it offers lessons for other regions grappling with the excesses of digital capitalism. Countries like Canada, India, and Australia are already borrowing from the GDPR playbook. The idea of digital sovereignty is gaining traction globally. Europe is also fostering ethical AI development, pushing for sustainability in tech, and creating space for alternative models of innovation, where small startups, research institutions, and civic tech projects can thrive without being devoured by giants. In a world reeling from disinformation, algorithmic manipulation, and exploitative labor practices in the gig economy, Europe's approach deserves serious consideration. So is Europe behind in tech? That depends on what yardstick you use. If it is about valuation, unicorns, or stock market dominance, then perhaps yes. But if it is about values, accountability, and democratic control, then Europe might actually be leading. Europe shows us that it's possible to say no to digital monopolies, to insist on rules that protect people, and to view technology not just as a product to be monetized, but as a tool to serve society. And that's the kind of conversation we need more of, not just in policy rooms, but in podcasts, classrooms, and dinner tables. Thank you for tuning in to the Change Dude podcast. If this episode gave you a new lens on Europe and tech, Share it with someone who needs to hear it. Until next time, keep questioning the status quo and keep creating the change. This is your host, Saeed Rafay, signing off.